Black Jesus.
One, two, Kyle Jackson. It's Event Premier Real Estate, Tampa, Florida's favorite realtor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to your new favorite show right here on Flow Ohio Radio, Homeownership and Hip Hop. We did our inaugural broadcast just 1 week ago on Saturday. We had Larson in the building. You know I am Larson. And, of course, we had Farlene Flack of Bliss Mortgage in here. We talked about lots of things, including first-time home ownership and some of the reasons why people buy a home. One of the things that was pretty profound was that we discovered that many people in the hip-hop community feel like their reason for purchasing their first home isn't so much for themselves, but it is for their mom. They really want to buy a home for mom. They want to make sure that their family is well and may not have even purchased a home for themselves yet, right? Or land for themselves. And so clearly home ownership needs to be a part of the conversation here in the hip-hop community. I know there are some people who are very familiar with real estate, and we certainly appreciate those people tuning in to listen to this show, right? Because whether they are actively investors or buyers, sellers, you know, these kinds of folks, there are people who work in and around the business as well, right? We have roofers, we have plumbers, we have electricians, people who are doing all kinds of work within the realm of real estate. And more so than ever, I see a lot of people also doing things like this. There are people who are marketing real estate, who are on air like we are today to talk about the ways that you, as a listener or as someone watching the program, can actually purchase a home, get into investing, do what you would like to do in terms of building wealth through real estate, okay? And so I want to thank everyone for coming today because this show, in case you didn't catch the first broadcast, this show has a premise. We are doing this for a couple of reasons: to educate, to entertain, to inform. Right? We want to make sure that we know that there are a lot of platforms that you can find information about real estate. But today, we want people to be able to call in. We want them to be able to call in because one of our guests, Mr. Lamar Williams, is an actual loan officer, right? He is working with a company today where he can actually get you approved for a home loan. He can put the money in your pocket so that you can just stop dreaming and make it your reality, okay? In addition to that, we're going to talk about the culture because, you know, we have big things happening in the culture. We have new artists. We have artists who are growing because of the leadership of some people who are veterans in the game. Like, you know, my next guest is kind of in between those worlds. He's both a veteran, but also connected heavily with the people who are doing new things and continuing to make music in the business. So I think this is going to be an amazing show, a really good conversation about not only who these fellas are, but what we are doing here in the Tampa Bay area and throughout Florida and throughout the United States, because I'm seeing more and more people talking real estate in the hip-hop community.
And
right?
real estate is universal. So, you know, you can live anywhere with a real estate investment. So That's right. I mean, you know, so Kyle being here, he's already ready to sell homes to anybody, and you can pretty much sell your home anywhere in the United States.
Well, anywhere in Florida.
Okay.
I'm licensed in Florida, everywhere in the state of Florida. I don't care if you're down in Miami, if you're up in Jacksonville, if you're in Orlando. I focused on Tampa Bay because, you know, this is Tampa Bay.
Hey,
we winning over here.
That's where we winning.
We winning.
We winning.
Tampa.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to talk about why real estate investors are winning here in Tampa, how you can be one of those who are winning, whether you want to invest or not. Maybe you just want to have your own home. But I will tell you, that's a win over renting right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So we'll talk about that as well. Now, Serge, where we at on time?
6 minutes in.
6 minutes. Okay. So with that 6 minutes, then I'm going to tell you one other thing. I want to just go ahead. I know I'm early. I know I'm early, but I want to give as much time to my guests as possible. So if you would go ahead and run that first commercial, and we can go ahead and get started with a conversation about my brother Lee. I call him Lee. Y'all call him Mr. Williams. Let's go, Serge.
A home is more than just a place you eat and sleep. Memories are created that will last a lifetime. Milestones and achievements that you'll cherish forever. And as families grow or you move up in life, it's time for your home to grow with you. A new home to create even more memories.
Every home has memories. Every home is a chapter in someone's life. My name is Kyle Jackson. I am a realtor with Savannah Premier Real Estate. I would love to help you go from the current chapter to the next chapter of your life. Call me anytime.
When it comes to selling your current home and buying your next, Kyle Jackson's got your back.
All right. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to introduce you to our first guest. His name is Lamar Williams. Serge, would you give a big round of applause for Loan Officer Lamar Williams, representing
Residential Acceptance Corporation.
Residential Acceptance Corporation. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Mr. Williams, before we get started, I'd like to play an audio clip for you, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I want you to hear a gentleman that I think you might be familiar with. I think we all might be familiar with this young man, but I can't seem to put my finger on his video. I don't know why I saved it. But his name, he goes by the name Kanye West.
All right.
And how do you feel about Kanye? You have any thoughts on that, young man?
Smart man, brilliant man.
Brilliant. That's
Brilliant.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, those are good words. Okay. And Kanye says that, well, let him say it in his own words. Give me just 1 second. Serge, how am I not finding it? My video. I'm just put it on him. He don't know.
I don't know.
I'm looking at my phone.
I was like, do I have it?
Is it user error?
This show, in case you didn't catch the
there we
first
are.
broadcast,
Okay,
the show
here we are.
has a premise. We are doing this to
Am I listening back to myself? What
for a
is
couple
that?
of reasons. To educate,
Yeah, the Facebook
to
feed.
entertain,
Oh, okay. I'm
to
like,
inform,
okay, got you.
Right? We wanna
So
make
Kanye
sure
West,
that,
let's let him say it in his own words.
But we always
Can you hear me, sir?
pointing at the white people, but yet we want to spend all of our money on foreigns. We want to spend all our money on luxury as opposed to going and buying some land. America is for sale, and there's a lot of barren land. Disney bought a lot of it in Florida. But the culture has you focused so much on fucking somebody bitch and pulling up in a foreign and rapping about things that could get you locked up and then saying you about prison reform. Like, it's, bro, we brainwashed out here, bro. Come on, man. This is a free man talking.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Kanye West. Now, I know before we go down this rabbit hole together, okay, first, why don't you introduce yourself, tell people where you're from, and then we're going to talk about that clip.
I'm born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois. I've been in Florida, Tampa, Florida, for about 18 years. It's about as long as I've been knowing you, Kyle.
Okay, nice.
I've started in mortgage business in 2003, all the way through the Great Recession, worked in financial business for a long time. I spent a decade with J.P. Morgan Chase, largest financial company in the United States, 6th largest in the world. A lot of respect for Jamie Dimon. Got back in the mortgage business full-time about in 2019. So weathered the storm. Here again, licensed in Florida and 6 other states. Florida, Georgia, Illinois, where I'm from, Texas, North Carolina, and Mississippi, with Maryland and Tennessee pending. So,
Fantastic.
yeah. So
That's
I'm here.
outstanding. Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not just in Florida, you know? So you can find me in a lot of different places. To go back to what you were talking about with Kanye West, I mean, you and I both know, Kyle, and you've been in this business just as long as I have, is that the best way, the quickest way that anybody can attain real wealth is through real estate.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all aware that buying a home is the largest financial purchase most people make in their entire lives. There's no
Absolutely.
larger purchase than you're going to make than buying a home.
Correct.
Right.
And now is the time. We're starting to get back to some of those times in 2003, 2004. And I was talking to my man right here. my hip hop guru, and he was like, "Hey, I think it's going to be a pop again. You know, I see it coming." Yes and no. And Carol, you can elaborate.
When you say a pop, you mean a bubble.
A bubble, correct.
I see. Okay,
Yes.
we'll discuss that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
I don't see that.
I don't see a bursting of the bubble. I see
At
what
least
I call,
not like it was before.
I call it
No,
a correction.
yeah, of course.
Is what I call it.
A correction?
You'll see a correction,
Okay,
right?
Market
I can go with that.
Yeah,
I like those words.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I don't know if it'll be a burst. But with that being said, now is the time to buy a home. We got
I agree.
exciting programs right now.
Yes.
Recent-
Matter of fact, just before we got started, you were telling me about two. Would you hold that up to the camera real quick?
Yeah,
This
sure.
is your camera. Would you just show an example of some of the programs that you're talking about? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can call in right now if you have questions while we're discussing this portion of the show. Serge, give them the number again.
813-252-4497.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We can call in and get information about these programs you're about to tell us about. Please
Definitely.
continue.
The one that we recently got that I want to talk about is called a non-QM loan. What QM means is a qualified mortgage. So every time you do a mortgage loan, in order for them to sell it, for it to be a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, where the investor can actually sell the loan, because that's what happens. They take the loan and they sell them on Wall Street, right? That's how they get more money to
lend out.
Correct. So a non-QM loan is great for what I was telling you, Kyle. It's the self-employed employer person, right? A lot of people make a lot of money, but they write a lot of things off on their taxes to prevent from being in a high tax bracket and giving Uncle Sam a lot of their money.
Correct.
Doesn't mean they don't make the money. It's just not showing on paper.
Correct.
This program right here is fantastic for that type of person. Let me tell you why. So we don't care how much money shows on your tax returns, as long as you can provide 12 to 24 months of bank statements showing the income going through your bank statements,
Yes.
whether business or personal.
Interesting.
We could qualify you based on the income that's going through your bank statements rather than what shows up on your tax return, which is huge. I'm going to tell you another thing that's great about this program. You know that most loans, if the loan to value is over 80%, you have to have what is called mortgage insurance, right?
Correct.
Mortgage insurance protect the lenders just in case you default on the loan.
Correct.
On the non-QM loan, there is no MI, even if you're over 80%, which can save you $150, $200, $250 per month by not having mortgage insurance. So
Excellent.
the market is hot. Great time to buy, great programs. Give me a call.
Is that program, just out of curiosity, who is that program primarily designed for? The person who's self-employed, the person who is paid off the, I mean, who is it?
Exactly. Self-employed, paid off the books. Anyone who does not show their income on their tax returns.
Okay, but they have income. They got money coming in.
I got the money.
Okay.
The money's coming through my bank account. And it
Are
could
there
be
higher
business.
credit score requirements for this?
There is. No, well, 620. 620 and above.
620 quote. Oh, that's
Right,
pretty
yeah,
reasonable.
Right.
Okay.
Now you will have to put down the larger down payment.
Okay.
10 to 20% depending on your credit score.
Sure.
However, again, this is
Let's talk about that briefly.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about, this program certainly sounds like it's for a person who is a more seasoned person in terms of their financial behaviors, right?
Okay,
They know
okay.
that they're trying to save money with Uncle Sam. They're trying to.
You are correct.
They're
You are
trying
correct.
to do some
Financially
things. in terms-
literate.
They're
Yeah.
financially literate
There you go.
already.
Correct.
And not to say that there aren't millions of folks who are listening who fit that category, but there are also some who everything you just said blew right past them. They didn't know nothing about what you're talking about.
Okay.
And so, what about those folks? Like, what about the person? Because you just said now's a good time to buy.
Correct.
There are some people out here who their lease is about to end. They about to be up. I can't rent no more.
Okay.
If you were going to tell someone, okay, I don't want to rent no more. I want to own a house. Everybody's saying there's good programs out here. I want to buy a house. I want to get mines too. Are you the person that they should call? Do you help those kinds of folks?
Definitely. I tell you what, my company, Residential Acceptance Corporation, that's what we specialize in. Okay. The first-time home buyer, people with challenge credit, we have credit scores as low as 560.
Nice.
560.
That you can get a loan with?
You can get a loan at 560
Holy cow.
credit score with 3.5% down. However,
I want you to know, sidebar that's incredible.
Oh.
Because most people won't touch you anything below 620, 580 at the absolute lowest.
Correct.
So just so you know, if you're in that category where your credit is challenged, you know, you might want to call Mr. Williams. But go ahead. Please continue.
And that's what we specialize in, the government programs, I like to call them, the FHA, the USDA, and the VA, the veterans. And the USDA loans are awesome because we can go down as low as to a 581 with USDA, but remember, USDA is 100% financing. So there's no money out of pocket. You only pay for your closing costs. Also, give me a call. I can educate you about DPA programs and down payment assistance programs.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah,
I was
well,
gonna say,
I didn't
we
want to use jargon.
acronyms.
Yes, I didn't want to use the business jargon
Very
for
good, very
the
good.
layperson. I
Yes.
understand. So yes, down payment assistance program. So a lot of times, even if you have the money, you know, when you buy a new home, what do you want? What's the first thing you want to do? You want to put furniture in it, right?
Absolutely.
You need a new bedroom set. You need a new living room set. Right. So save some of your money. Talk to me about down payment assistance programs, and I can assist you with that. But definitely, challenge credit. I'll hold your hand. That's what I do.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, if I go out to my car and it doesn't start, and I raise up the hood, you might as well slam the hood on my head. That's not what I do.
Okay.
So I think a lot of times we do this for so long, like you and I, Kyle, for over 18 years.
Absolutely.
Right? We just assume that people know. They don't know.
They don't know.
And I realize that.
This is a specialized knowledge that you and I both possess as a realtor and as a mortgage loan officer.
Exactly. So what I'm trying to tell you, the people that want to purchase a home, come to me. I introduce you to my man, Kyle.
Yes.
He'll help you find your home.
Yes.
And I give you the money to buy your home.
Absolutely. We work as a team, as a partnership. We can slam dunk that thing for you.
Hey,
right?
Listen,
That's very
I like
good.
it. I like it.
Okay.
So, but that's where we are. A lot of people get intimidated, $250,000, $300,000, and they look at that big ticket item, and it's very intimidating.
It is, especially when there are several points in the process that are intimidating. It's intimidating when you look at that big ticket number. It's intimidating when you go and sign that big stack of papers.
Yes,
It's intimidating when you see the amortization and you realize that you borrowed $250, but you ain't paying back $250. You paying back a lot more than that.
You are correct.
It can get scary if you have not been educated on how you maneuver within the real estate world, right? Because you can buy, you can sell, you can invest, you can rent, you can do all kinds of things to move money around and really make generational wealth for you and your family. You know, you can really do quite well.
We entered the segment with it. I'm glad you said about generational wealth.
Yes.
Again, the fastest, the best, the most common way to generate wealth is owning a home. And I'm gonna speak about this briefly too. And a lot of times, and there's a lot of people who are in their home right now, right? Yeah. And they're like, man, I want to move, but I'm not sure. I like the school district my kids are in. I don't know if I want to spend another $150,000 more than what I'm paying. What I'm telling you, what you can do, is I can also refinance your home. Believe it or not, the equity in your home has probably doubled or tripled within the last 2 or 3 years. Probably went up 15-20% within the last year alone. So the credit card bills that you're paying 27-28% on, that auto loan that's going to depreciate that you're paying 6-7-8% on, right? That mother-in-law suite that you wanted to buy, right? That garage that you wanted to turn into a man cave. I'm your guy. You got the money sitting. You
Right
sleeping
there.
in your money every day.
Right.
Call me, Lee Williams. I will help you tap that money.
And how can they reach you? Give me a good number there.
Well, they can reach me at the office at 813-935-1828.
So after this show, if somebody were today listening and they said, wow, you know, I really want to get a house, can they call you today?
Yes, they can call me on my cell phone. They can reach me at 813-438-4511.
Okay, fantastic. Let me ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
So I'm going to take this back to our audio clip.
Okay.
So, you know, Kanye, you called him a genius. He's brilliant.
Correct. I agree.
And this man is telling the hip-hop community that we spend too much time on things like wanting foreign cars. That's what he meant by foreigns for
Right, yeah, of
those
course.
who may not be
things
avid listeners to the
things
hip hop.
that depreciate, look good but depreciate.
Right,
Well said.
depreciating,
Well said.
depreciating
Well said.
items, right?
Well said.
Not only did he say that, but he also went on to say that he mentioned Disney by name right here in Florida. Like, there is land for sale. In fact, I have some land for sale right now, literally 8020 Riverview Drive in Riverview, Florida. Only $150,000. You can give over a half an acre, more than a half acre of land. On a half acre, you can build literally 2 houses. 2 houses you can have, or one very nice sized house with some land on there, right? So
I'll tell you what a wise man once told me. They can make a lot of things, but they're not making any more land.
correct, and this is why you should buy it.
And it's a whole bunch of it out there.
There's a lot of it out there, and you can, I wonder sometimes if you, like you said, some people are a little bit afraid to go outside of what they know, right?
Definitely,
and
definitely.
I think that there's definitely. I listened to a clip that I was going to play as well, where they said, "Why didn't you teach this in school?" Right, but I listened to another guy say, "You know why they didn't teach it in school? Because lions don't teach zebras how to escape."
Because they're food.
I like
Right?
it. I
You're
like
the
it.
food. You're here for people to eat you, unless you decide to be a lion. That's the beautiful part of this, right? Like, you can choose whether you want to be a lion or a zebra.
Right.
In our situation, but when you choose it, you have to kind of go at it for 18 years, like yourself, being a lion, going after helping. But it's an interesting thing because you don't just kill and eat; you help people along the way.
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
Would you say that being a loan officer is rewarding?
I think it is. Again, it sounds cliche, but what is the American dream, right? You talked about earlier that someone said not even for themselves, but it's for their family, right? That means something,
It really does.
You go in, and I don't care how big or small, where it is, something that's yours.
Then why aren't we rapping about it? You know hip hop, right? Like you've been
I
around
love
the
hip-hop.
culture your
I
whole
love
life.
hip. I'm a '90s hip hop guy. You know what I mean?
That's what I
me.
want to make
The
sure.
golden era,
Credentials, right?
The golden era.
Golden
you know
era
what I
of
mean?
hip hop
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
right here.
Right, no
and so why? I'm gonna get to you. I know you biting at the you chomping at the bit to
He
get to
can't
it.
wait.
I can't wait till you get to
Yeah,
it.
man.
I'm gonna get to
I'm
you.
on that.
But I want to know. We rap about cars. We rap about jewelry. We rap about Supremes and clothing. We rap about how many girls and clapping butts but I don't hear a lot of people rapping about buying land, buying houses, getting that kind of wealth.
Let me tell you something. The same reason you don't hear people rapping about IRAs or 401ks. We're visual people. You can't wear your house around your neck.
Right.
You can't wear your bank statement as a medallion. When you pull up to the club, shorty not asking you, hey, let me see your house. She want to ride in a $100,000 foreign.
Right.
She want to see the road.
So you doing it
right.
for the
We're-
girls in the culture.
We're visual people. We are a materialistic society.
Okay.
So things of substance, like home ownership,
Yes.
401ks, retirement plans, right? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds.
So how do we get that to
gold.
be in the culture? How do we get? I mean, all of that, crypto even.
Cryptocurrency.
All of that too, right? I
Cryptocurrency.
wanted to add that in the end. With all of those things that you mentioned, how do we get that to be a part of? Because we also, besides being a visual people, like you said, we're also we listen. We catch on to things with a rhythm, right? We tune in and we repeat. I lived my whole life on hip hop, and on the last show I said this, but I'll repeat. I think it's worth repeating, Serge. I drank Cristal because of Jay-Z, not because I found it in the liquor store. I drank Tanqueray because of Snoop. I wore Adidas because of Run DMC, right? And I think even today there are kids who follow the Baby. There are kids who follow, what these artists say, and if we want to steer them to investing in gold, investing in crypto, investing in real estate, investing in things that matter so that we can really have a Wakanda of sorts, right? Folks can be wealthy and have generational wealth. We need it in the music. That's why we got to have it for the culture. It got to be a part of the culture.
You know what, Kyle? I'm from 90s hip hop as well. You know what I'm saying? And we did learn that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they only remember the big artists, and the big artist is corporate America. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
But you
No
know,
doubt.
if we look at like right now, they're doing documentaries on the Wu-Tang story.
Absolutely.
All right,
I love that.
The Wu-Tang had been giving us knowledge like that in their records,
from Go.
From Go. You know what I'm saying?
Since Protect Your Neck.
Since RZA, you know, and just looking at their business model, they took all their brothers out of the hood. They put God body knowledge into them brothers, and they were talking about buying land. They were talking about building businesses. So hip hop has always been giving us knowledge, even since the '80s. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people just hook on to that commercial music, and that's the flamboyant.
I agree. Oh man, I'm so
Well
glad
said.
you added
Well
that.
said. Well
Added
said.
that. That's important for the culture because we don't want to dismiss that people like the Gods and the Earths, and
sir.
you know they have, and many others, right?
Yeah.
Throughout the culture, we can name many artists who have been given
EPMD,
jewels,
strictly business,
important information about how this all works, right? Like, and we want to pay homage to those guys for
Yes,
sure,
man.
and those women. I don't think it's all just party. There are people who are giving substance in their music,
Exactly.
and we don't want to discount that at all. Yes, sir.
But see, Kyle, you asked the question, right? You said, how do we incorporate that? You're doing it right now,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
See,
thank you.
this is it. This is it right now. Things like this, this show right here.
I agree. I hope that it resonates with people.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it will.
Like that's the main key, because you know, if it resonates, we want to grow this so that not only are people listening to this show, but obviously we want this to be a win-win-win. A triple win, right?
Right.
So we want it to be a win for the community and the culture, right? When we're out here speaking, you're spending your Saturday afternoon with me. We're doing this deliberately to inform and educate and uplift our community. That's what we're doing. And they say young black men don't do that, but here we are.
Yes,
That's happening right now,
Yes, sir.
right?
I love it.
That's number one. But number two, besides uplifting the community, we're here for business. All three of us, we run businesses, right? We're here to do business with the people who may call in. So we want to invite you once again. Serge, give them the number.
813-252-4497.
You can call into this show. You can tune in on Facebook. You can let us know if you have questions. We want your feedback. We want to have conversations with you because we want to help you to either invest, buy, sell, whatever it is that you have a need for. In
Get
the,
the information to do all of
get
those
the information to do all of those things. I agree completely. So, Serge, let's do a commercial. We'll come back and we'll talk to my brother Black Boy 813 is in the
813,
building.
In the building.
Respect.
Kyle Jackson from Savin Premier Real Estate makes selling your home look easy. Even when things behind the scenes don't go quite according to plan. Kyle will go to great lengths to make sure potential buyers see the best of your home. It's all about the details, making sure he's got your back. Kyle Jackson from Savin Premier Real Estate, just another day at the office working to sell your home. If you're looking to sell your home, contact Kyle Jackson today. He's got your back.
Hey, see, I ain't gonna sit around doing this shit for nothing. Hey, baby, see, I ain't gonna sit around doing this shit for nothing. No, baby, see, I done held it out for this long. This long, I ain't gonna do it no more. Yeah, I ain't gonna sit around loving your ass for nothing. See, I done been down this road. I ain't gonna do it no more. Yeah. See, merry-go-round in the circle. I'm tired of just brushing the surface. Let's get to the root of the problem, baby. And Lord knows I ain't perfect. I know I got a lot I can work on. But baby, you ain't either. You got your ways. But in the meantime, we should be making love. We should be making love, not war. We both win when we surrender. Instead of wasting time, let's not waste no more time. Cause we can build this house together. Cause I don't wanna sit around. I ain't gonna sit around doing this shit for nothing. Oh no.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Kyle Jackson, Savannah Premier Real Estate, Home Ownership, and Hip Hop live here on Flowhio Radio. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in live on Facebook. We are about to talk to my illustrious guest.
Yes, sir.
William Black Boi Willingham is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Serge, please give him a big round of applause.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it having me on the show, man. It's every very, very, very rare that I come out and do interviews. So I'm here with a brother that I respect, and let's talk about this music and let's talk about us coming up as a people.
Thank you, brother.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you saying that very
Yes,
much.
sir.
I can educate
Let me just tell
about
you,
GPA
so
programs and
I have
down payment assistance
been watching
programs.
your
Glad you
career
clarified.
blossom, right? And I really am. It's funny because I don't tune in to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So once I'm tuned in, I kind of stay watching.
Okay.
And I see you active not only on social media every day, but man, you put out a lot of music, brother. Like,
I'm a workaholic, man. I could be doing other things that could be getting me in trouble, but music saved my life as a teenager, and it gave me purpose, and I've been dedicated to it ever since.
So for our listeners who don't know who you are, would you please tell them who you are, where you're from, what it is that we should know, where they can, who is Black Boi?
My name is William Black Boi Willingham. I'm from the Tampa Bay area. I've been a producer in Tampa since I was about 16 years old. I've worked with almost everybody in the city and, some national artists. I'm a producer, I just happen to rap and sing. So, it's a blessing to be able to make the music and then be able to create the song, So I'm from the start of the record to the end of the record, and I'm an independent. So I'm not latched on to any label except for my own. I own my masters. I own my music. And I've been doing that since I started.
That's beautiful, man.
That is, we get a big round of applause for that. That is heavy. Let's go. I love it.
Yes,
that's what I like to see.
Yes, sir. We manufacture it, we put it together, and we put it out. That's what Dark Star Music Group does. It's actually, the name of the company is Dark Star Recordings, LLC. We've been established since 2002. And, we love music. I'm an artist producer. I'm not just a producer who's in it to make the money. I actually am a musician who loves making music. So, when you do what you love, money comes. Like they say, you build it, they'll buy it.
Yes.
No doubt.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
And so, it's an interesting thing because I've been to your studio. I like it a lot. It's an excellent studio.
It's the vibe. It's a
It's
vibe.
a good vibe. Yeah, I like that. I also will tell you that when I initially became familiar with you, I knew you from the hip hop side. I knew
Yes,
you
sir.
as an MC.
Yes, sir.
But you then surprised me with like a whole R&B side, which look, hip hop and R&B ever since Ron G merged us together, that's all one thing to me.
Yes.
But you know, like you really sing. That was you in that last video clip.
That was me in the last video clip. It's you know, I want to say in 2006, I decided. Well, I grew up in gospel music.
Okay.
My father and my uncle are very well known jazz musicians. When they were alive, they were very well known jazz musicians throughout America. They played with the legends like Coltrane. They played with
Coltrane.
You at the top of the game.
Man.
Archie Shepp was is a very, very well known legend in jazz music.
Yes.
And they played with him. They toured with him. So, you know, my musical background came from my family. We're all singers. We're all musicians. Actually, I have a little brother who was a child prodigy. He played piano since he was 5 years old, and now he plays for a lot of mega churches, and he's done songs with Smokey Norval. So I come from a rich background of musicians, singers.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, it's in the blood. You know what I'm saying? You can probably tell it by my voice. Everybody always asks me, man, why you got this baritone voice, man? Well,
Barry White.
I got it from my daddy. I got it from my daddy.
That's
so,
awesome.
So they played 5 different instruments. So I'm a 70s baby. So you know, before hip hop was even big, it was already infused in my DNA about music and live band and all of those things. So, you know, and I grew up with hip hop, so I'm about the same age as hip hop, and so I saw it firsthand come to fruition.
Sure, absolutely.
Gospel music molded me, hip hop saved me, and R&B is just my heart. You know what I'm saying?
That's excellent. Now, speaking of getting it from your daddy, one of the things that I find very inspiring about how you not only present yourself to the world in terms of your artistry and your, you know, being a producer is you're a family man too.
Yes, sir. I love my kids.
You
man.
show them kids. Like, and that's a
love my
beautiful
kids.
thing because a lot of times we don't, as black men, they don't get the love for showing love as dad, right? So,
man, I think black men and the black community get a very bad rep when it comes to family. You know, their talking points is always the father's outside of the home. It's always something negative in regards to how we interact with our children, especially black men. You know, of course, the black woman, she is always the one who is looked at, who takes care of the kids, and salute to the black woman because they've been holding our kids down, but there's some men out here who are holding their children down as well.
Can I get an amen
True
on
indeed.
that? Can I
True
get
indeed.
a round of applause in the building? We don't even got love. Yes, there are.
And
Yes.
see, you know, I don't hang around brothers who don't take care of their kids. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? I mean, you know, that's like, you know, in the Bible times, there were lepers. They sat outside the city. They couldn't come in the city.
You can't come in.
You know
You
what I'm
dirty.
saying?
You unclean.
So, you're unclean. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to me, you know, if you're a man, you're not taking care of your kids, or you're not somewhat very much involved in your kid's life, you're a leper to me. And I want you to come up. I want you to get cleansed before you come in the city. You know what I'm saying? Because
we don't do that.
We don't do that over here. You know, and
That's the real coronavirus.
We don't do that.
yeah,
Like
you know,
my
because
man from Wakanda said.
affiliation brings upon assimilation, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I share my kids because they're my kids. You know what I'm saying? I love spending time with them. I love seeing myself in them, seeing them grow. I think a lot about how I'm raising them. You know, I'm very conscious about what I bring into their minds, and you know, me being an artist and, you know, having my own artistic expression, even in my music, is certain things I'm just not going to do. I don't disrespect our women. I can talk about the situations of the hood and how these labels are real that we say, but at the same time to just deliberately degrade our women or degrade our brothers. You know, you got to know artistic expression opposed to somebody just trying to sell records.
Let's build on that for the culture real quick because that's an important part. So it's an interesting thing. So you know that I some years back started a page called Good Morning Hip Hop.
Yes, sir.
And I did that because for me, I deliberately named it Good Morning Hip Hop. I've talked about this on 88.5 and some other platforms. I named it that because it was time for us to wake up. We were sleep.
Sleep.
I mean, sleep. You was in a deep dead sleep. Y'all was not breathing sleep, right? Because I was watching little girls get tattoos on their face to try to be like. I saw a girl tattoos Drake's name across her forehead. Some other stuff on their face because they wanted to be like Wayne, right? We were. I consider this whole generation, this new generation of everything little, everything baby. All y'all are Wayne's children,
Right.
Y'all are y'all are of the house of Little Wayne, right? And so, and I get that cultural impact. We were going left. We were going down a very slippery slope. Like you said, calling our women out our name, and that's been going on since the '90s. You're a '90s guy that's been going on for a long time.
We had Luther Campbell.
We've had that. We don't want to give it just to Wayne. It ain't just on him.
Exactly.
It's on a lot of people, right? But over the last maybe 5 to 7 years, we've been waking up. Folks have been seeing it a bit different. We calling each other kings and queens. We're not out here with the N's and B's like it was before. We are talking about things that make us better.
Re-evolving.
We are exactly
Re-evolving.
Exactly.
Because I think hip hop gets a bad rep because all you're seeing, like we were saying earlier, is the corporate machine. All right, so. There's always been a foundation in hip-hop, the fivefold ministry, you know what I'm saying? And it's still going and as strong as it was back then.
Absolutely.
But when you have more money, more resources, more marketing, the media is going to put out what sells.
But see, let's talk about that because we got to deal with us.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Anytime I point my finger at you, 3 fingers pointing back at me. So let's deal with us real quick, hip-hop. Let's deal with us.
Yes, sir.
All right? So you're right. That was happening with folks like Too Short. He admitted that, right? That was happening with Dr. Dre and them. And that was happening where the hidden hand was in there, right?
Sir.
And they was making influences. But now more than ever, we got people like you.
Yes, sir.
You own your own masters.
Yes,
you
sir.
create your own work.
Yes, sir.
You put out what you want. And so far too many, like I think about, there's a little boy named, I'll just call him Little, because I don't like the other two names he's taken from in his name. I don't give Lil Man. Lil Man, he out here wilding. Hold on, let me just get this off. Lil Man out here wilding.
Yes, sir.
And we're allowing for it within the culture in terms of creativity, but we know from our own experiences, lots of people in our generation smoked weed because Snoop and them was pushing weed, right? Like, we are influenced. So you can best believe them kids is influenced by that young man and his agenda. But I'm not so mad when it's the corporate hand as I am when it's us. When you in charge, you own the label, you own the masters, and you still the one putting out trash.
And
what's that about?
And you own your children, too. So, you got to, are you letting...
You saying this to our kids, but your kids still go to private school. Your kids don't even listen to your music. Your kids, where we at on this? Go ahead.
But 813.
813, yes.
You tried to tell him. I don't think you understand the power of the corporate dollar. It's just not the money. It's the power. It's the media. It's the culture.
Absolutely.
How do you think Lil Nas became? I know you hate me calling him Lil Nas.
It's disrespectful. Salute Nas. Salute the one and only Nas.
But here again. You tried to tell them that corporate money, that influence, that power, they prop up who they want to prop up. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. And they will cancel you.
And you cancel you. Right. As we have just seen,
Or
they tried for your man.
Listen.
They tried to come for the king a second time. Salute Dave Chappelle forever.
And that's why I love Dave Chappelle. This is where our power comes from. With the internet and being independent, you have your own platform now. The corporate, they have whatever they have, but it's nothing for you to go viral doing something good.
Correct. You can go viral doing something good.
And that's what empowers us. We have to take ownership of our media.
Correct.
We got to take ownership of our music, our culture.
That's
we
right.
created the
That's
culture.
Right.
We
That's
need to
right.
take back
ownership
control
and
of
put
it.
out things that will help our people.
Exactly.
All people.
Exactly.
Help people to think in terms of better terms. Think in terms of assets, not
You got to
liabilities.
give them
help
another alternative.
Because we do have an appetite for the SHIT. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you, right? There is a market for
Yes, sir.
it, right?
It is.
And it's a big market, and there are people who buy it, consume it, and if it don't sound like it, they don't like it, right? And so I'm not taking away. Look, there was gangster rap, there was conscious rap, there was trap, there was, whatever we want to call conscious music today.
Golden era.
There's all of these things, and all of there's space in it for all of it. I'm not always in a suit, right? I'm not like sometimes I want to go throw dollars.
Exactly.
But like, don't get me wrong. I think that
it's a time and place for
there's
everything.
a time and place, and especially when you know that your market is children, right? Like your target audience are children. I don't like this cop out of it's not my responsibility. I'm not a parent. I'm an artist, and that's a cop out to me because you know that you wouldn't want that for yours. So why you want that for mine?
Well, that's the morally corrupt artists.
Yeah.
Because they're not really doing it to uplift. They're not. They're just simply in it for the money and whatever.
And we back them though.
Yeah, we back them.
We back them. Like we look. They'll do wrong, and people will still rock with them on the music. Like, and so we do have to ask ourselves, well, how far can we really point? That's where I was saying we pointing our finger at the other side, the hidden hand. That's there. It's there.
Yeah.
I ain't lying. I ain't denying that. But I'm also saying when we gonna come with our own accountability.
We
Go ahead. You've been biting your tongue. You've been waiting. Go ahead.
I want a question for you guys because I'm an old man now, right? My son told me, he said, Dad, he's 18. You like that old man rap. Dad, you almost a half a century. You know what I mean? And I'm thought about it. You know what I do? I am biased. Like, if you get in my car, on my phone, I got nothing but 90s hip-hop. I'm not saying Lil Baby or Lil Durk or all of them can't do anything. What I want you guys to do is help me out. How can I not be biased towards the new culture? Because I don't want to disrespect the little brothers. You know, they got a message, but the mumble,
it's not for you.
Right,
you can't understand it. You can't like it. I don't like it.
Listen,
I struggle, man. I got an 18-year-old son, so I try.
Yeah.
He get in the car, he want to play NBA YoungBoy, and I try, and I cringe the whole time. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna just be
Work
honest.
with
I
me.
gotta hear you. I gotta hear your point of view on this. But let me just share.
all I'm gonna say to people from our era: stay in your lane. Okay, like, all right. So they said this about us when we were that age.
Right.
When we had our era of hip hop, it's to this, it's to that, it's to
Correct.
that. We either we're gonna stop talking about it and show them, or we just gonna continue to talk about it, and it's not really helping them to see. Like, I like fusion. I like fusion when I'm producing. I'm gonna throw in a little new element of how they do it, and I'm gonna incorporate where I'm from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's what truly you steal shamelessly and you make it just your own. All right.
Yes.
So if you want to reach out to the kids, you got to learn how to make that beat like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what's driving the whole music.
With their feelings.
You mess with their beat, and then you throw in your knowledge, or you throw in your message, and you make sure it appeals to them the way that they're used to hearing it. You know, we gotta, we smart. We're smart people.
Of course.
We always find a way to do something every time they put a stop in us, or every time they put an obstacle in front of us. And black people are so talented and so diverse in music and culture that America is going to eat up anything that we make.
Amen.
And,
I agree.
And if we stop talking negative about it and start doing something positive about it, it'll change.
Speaking on that, so let me take us back to real estate for just a moment.
Sir.
Okay. So with that said, and I'm gonna tie this in with my answer to your question about the youth, right?
Okay.
So I see young people doing unique things, right? Things that may not resonate with me musically, but I love what they're doing socially, politically, culturally, right? Like I saw a young boy, and his name might be Lil Durk. I think he just purchased his girlfriend gave him 10 acres of land.
I think I've heard about that. I think it's young. It's another one.
I'm not sure of his name. I also watched another
Moneybag Yo.
Moneybag Yo. There you go.
Right.
So, and these are great moves. These are epic moves for the culture, right? Because the people who listen to his music, they definitely may see that and feel inspired for themselves. Just like of our generation, one of the reasons I went to college, I watched A Different World on television and got inspired and went. And so hopefully there will be people who will follow his example. There's definitely the Drakes of the world. And, lots of people within the hip-hop game have real estate. So my question for you, have you purchased real estate yet?
I have purchased real estate. It's been a long time. I recently went through a life change.
Okay.
So right now I'm in the market to buying a house, building a house.
While we were off air, you were talking a little bit about that. Would you expound on that just a little bit?
I for the last maybe 4 to 5 years, I've been watching the container home and tiny home explosion.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a minimalist. You
Okay.
know, I can live. I'm from the projects, man. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm good with this.
You don't need the extravagant lifestyle.
I don't need an extravagant lifestyle.
Right.
You know, I came from poverty. I don't have the appetite like a lot of people do for just frivolous things. If I have an appetite for something, it's music equipment. You know what I'm saying? So because that's my
That can get
passion.
pricey too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's definitely pricey, but it's gonna make me money. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's a good investment. Yeah.
No doubt.
So you know, I'm an artist as well. I'm talking about visual artist. You know, I grew up and I was my dream was to be a comic book artist. So I see the art in almost everything. You know, the container home is such a innovative way for you to build a house. Actually taking away a lot of the blueprint of, you know, carbon blueprint, because these containers have been around and they're built to be around for a long time. Yes. And it could solve our housing crisis right now, because there's so many of these containers just sitting around in shipyards that are just decommissioned, that can be cleaned up, and we can make even homes for the homeless.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so good to me to see us taken away, because, you know, what do we call it? Global warming.
Sure.
All of these things are having an impact for our children. So we're talking about building for our children.
Absolutely.
We need to go to a more eco-friendly
I think that
building.
at some point, I would love to see it, but you know, we're still evolving nationally.
Yes, sir.
There are still people who haven't bought into solar panels, even, you know, and so it takes time for us to elevate to a place where we're more conscious of the earth, less of a global footprint, all of these sorts of things, right? But I think you're right. I think that it can be helpful in the future. To have them now, you probably have to finance it yourself. You're going to have to put your own money up, because a lot of the lenders
they're getting conventional loans to build these things now.
For a container?
Yes.
Have you heard of this as well?
Well, you know what? I've heard some of it. It hasn't gotten to my company yet. Yeah. It's been getting some exposure. I had a young lady that called me about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and she was inquiring about container homes and loans for that. And a lot of our investors with my company right now haven't touched it yet.
Yeah.
It's not that they won't.
Right.
But if I'm being frank right now,
and that's how I kind of see things like crypto. Like, clearly there's an explosion, something's happening, but the bigger mainstream has not jumped on it as yet.
Hey, you know the crazy thing is with the cost of materials to build houses now, it has soared.
Absolutely.
Materials, and it's true, but
appliances, the cost of everything has soared, hasn't it?
But we all know what that is. That's the supply chain, right? So, I mean, let's call it what it is. We thought globalization was a great thing, and maybe it is. But when you outsource everything, and everything has to come through China,
right?
So you throw a pandemic in there, so you got labor shortages,
right?
So people are not in the warehouses, right?
You got a trade war going on.
I mean, it's the perfect storm. Right, so now the reason for the supply chain, the biggest problem is getting the goods from China off the ships, getting it to the ports, getting it offloaded to the ports, getting it to the trucks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We got a driver shortage.
It's a lot going on. It really is. It really is.
So I want to ask you one other question, because where are we on time, Serge?
We are 55 right now.
So we should do a commercial? Run a commercial. I have an important question for these gentlemen. Before we go, I just have to say this. So I didn't say my answer. The answer was, let the youth do what they're going to do. Right? Just like we wanted to do what we were going to do. You're not going to understand it. You're not going to like it. You're not going to appreciate it. But to me, good music is good music. I don't care if it's old. I don't care if it's new. And so all I'm asking of the youth is make good music. Make good music. And what good music sounds like is subjective, right? Like, you get to choose what that is, but there is a hip hop. If you're going to call yourself, I don't care if you call yourself other things. You want to call it pop or trap or other. But if you say the words hip hop with your sound, your music, it should sound like hip hop, and hip hop has a definitive sound.
Yes, sir.
But let me interject this. Let me tell you something. Our music, the reason why it's so great, it can stand the test of time. You can put in LL Cool J, Rock the Bells, or I'm Bad Now,
And
or
sing
20
along.
years from now.
That's right.
And it's going to go. A lot of this music right now is what I call today's music. You can't listen to it 30 years from now. I can put in LL right now from 1989, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to bang.
It is going to bang, and I hope it will bang as we come up on this upcoming verses, which we'll talk about as we come back. Let's go, sir. Bring us to that thing.
Selling your home can be a big decision for you. An even bigger one is the realtor you list it with. You want a realtor that's going to check all the boxes and one that's got your back. That realtor is Kyle Jackson from Savin Premier Real Estate.
You want a realtor that's going to be with you through the entire selling process. My name is Kyle Jackson. I'm a realtor with Savin Premier Real Estate, and I got your back.
Make the easiest decision when it comes to selling your home. Choose the realtor that's going to go the extra mile and assure you that you made the right choice. Contact Kyle Jackson today. He's got your back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Homeownership and Hip Hop, Kyle Jackson, Savin Premier Real Estate, Tampa, Florida. It's a beautiful day to buy and sell real estate here in Tampa Bay. We are excited to be here with our two guests, Lamar Lee Williams with
Residential Acceptance Corporation.
Residential Acceptance Corporation, and William Black Boi Willingham of Dark Star Music Group.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I had to get my thoughts and my words together here, y'all. But it's so good to be here on the podcast. We've been having a great conversation. I want to talk about something. You know, we've been talking about the changes that have been happening in the culture, why we think some things need to be a part of the culture. You know, one of the things I'm excited about that's currently happening is verses. I like verses. For those who don't know verses, I'm excited about this upcoming verses because two of my personal faves, the legendary KRS-One.
Being from the Boogie Down Bronx yourself.
Right? You know, I'm 100% BDP.
I know you with Chris Parker. I know you with Chris Parker.
I'm 100% KRS for this battle. But salute to Brooklyn's own Big Daddy Kane.
All right.
Right.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Right.
Big Daddy Kane versus KRS-One is
Wow.
coming up. I just found out
Nice.
that the legendary Kid Capri is going to be on the tables for that. And it's going to be, that's one for the culture.
Yeah, that's gonna bring us back. That's for us.
Right. And so it's an interesting thing because I do think tying in, I hope that young MCs and producers and singers are listening into this, right? Because some of them, when KRS was at his peak, they weren't even born yet.
Yep.
Right? They may not have ever heard a Big Daddy Kane song, right? They certainly don't know his music like we would know it. And I think it's important to tune in because, like, I watched a young girl in a video on TikTok. She must have been maybe 19, and she was rapping all of the lyrics to one of Jay-Z's songs, like not like one of his really lyrical joints, maybe
Okay.
like Lyrical Exercise or something. But she was just, and it was dope to watch, right? When your young people can appreciate the older generation's
Man,
music.
it's so funny that you say that, Kyle. I have a mentee. You know, I have a brother that works for me, and he just, you know, I kind of hit it off with him, so he likes to hang with me.
Yeah.
19-year-old brother.
Yeah.
Latin brother.
Yeah.
And man, I had the brother. I was taking him home yesterday, and this brother is in love with Tupac's music. I mean, he knows it.
Nice.
I mean, he knows word for word every song that played in my car all the way to his house. And I'm like, it made me smile because, like, it shows me that where we came from musically is still so influential to today's kids.
Right.
Like, they are going back and they're touching on that music that we love so much that we won't let go of. Like you say, you all you listen to in your car is your 90s LL Cool J, Rock the Bells. Well, you know, these kids, like, he's coming to work. I allow him to play music when we're at work. Sure. And all he plays is like Too Short, Tupac. Like, he's a gang. He loves
gangster rap.
Gangster rap.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to see, you know what I'm saying? But it's so good to see that, you know, man, this stuff is It's taking me back, and this kid knows every word.
And it has stood the test of time. It's nice.
It has stood the test of time.
To my point,
Yes.
good music will stand the test of time.
Well, that's an interesting thing because one of the battles that Versus says that may be coming, I hope. I think he wanted to smoke, but I don't know if he really wants to smoke. Jermaine Dupri was trying to reach and say he could give it to Puff Daddy. And I said, ooh, I like you, JD, but you don't have the... You don't have the arsenal, sir.
Well.
You might be a little
Do you
biased
remember
there,
the
New York
90s?
City.
Do you remember the 90s?
I think they forget
Put some
that
respect on Diddy's name.
Diddy is the man, like of
But
the
Jermaine
90s.
Dupri did
But
his numbers,
Jermaine
too.
Dupri
They
did
did
the
numbers.
Yeah, he did his numbers.
Like, all right, so we if we're gonna talk record sales, all right.
Yes.
Jermaine Dupri had a whole lot of record sales.
Oh,
that
yeah.
he
Man,
was
Crisscross, the
Oh,
Brad.
Brad,
He had some joints. I'm
Janet
not fronting
Jackson.
on him.
I mean, he's
He
a
was doing
producer.
it.
He's
doing it.
worked with
JD's
Mariah
no
Carey.
slouch now.
But I'm from New York City.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You didn't
And as
see
far
where he
as
was
I
going.
know,
You know what I mean?
like
He
as far as I
NYC all
know,
day,
right?
you know what I mean?
Diddy owned eggs. So look, but I'm gonna tell you why I brought up Versus.
Okay.
Right? I think it's one of the most innovative things that have happened for the hip hop culture in quite a while,
Yes,
and it was
it has.
birthed through the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right? It's also great to see that young men like us, they own it.
Mm-hmm.
They own it. They run it. You're talking about Swiss Beats. You're talking about Timbaland. These are men who not only have done very well musically, but they also own very serious real estate portfolios. To
Right.
take us back to the main topic here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm hoping is that we can see more of our major artists start talking about how did you get into the game in real estate, because one of the things is, I'm just as a recap, I want to re-emphasize, you should be calling Mr. Williams. You should be reaching out, trying to get in touch with this man to get a pre-approval for a home, whether that is you want to contact him to buy a house, whether you want to refinance, maybe you have a property already and you want better terms, whether you want to invest. He has programs for you, and you don't want to squander an opportunity to reach people. There's your first caller. Go ahead and get that money while we talk to William, and ask you, if you had, once you get real estate, like, do you have a goal in mind? Like, do you want one house? Do you want houses that you can give to your children? What is your hope when it comes to investment?
My hope is, of course, to leave my children something that is going to have them to continue to be financially stable. The first thing I have to teach my kids is financial literacy. That is, I'm on that with them. I teach them about saving. I teach them about investing. I teach them about not just buying frivolous things. Buy things that's going to make them money. Whether it's your passion, whether you have a business, whatever hobby you're in, it should make you money, because that's how you keep your hobby going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, teaching financial literacy and financial discipline is the first step in getting to real estate, because what use of getting into real estate if you can't pay for it?
Right.
So that I'm definitely into real estate. My goal is to own a couple properties, I like the double family units, the quad family units,
Sure.
having
So multifamily
commercial
investment.
real estate, and that's where the land comes in.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because
Yeah.
we hadn't touched on that yet. And a lot of times we don't address the fact that there are commercial real estate opportunities all around us, whether you own a storefront, commercial building, a strip mall. A lot of times folks aren't even, I hate to say it this way, but I would like to see, I think there are geniuses amongst us in the hip-hop community,
Yes,
right?
there is.
Like real for real geniuses. And I think that oftentimes, I don't know if it's due to environment or what they've been told, but sometimes they think a little smaller than what they should, right? They think in terms of, well, if I could just get this one place, maybe, where you don't have to, you can have 10 of them.
Yeah.
You can have a strip mall. You can have a building. You can have whatever you want.
I'm a
if you
studio
put your
owner.
mind to it.
I'm a
Yeah.
studio owner, and I always knew that. You know what? You have to either get you a storefront. You have to do, but none of them are really thinking. And see, this is why I want to build a container home thing, is I want to own my studio.
Yes.
You know, I don't want
Wanna
to
rent the
out
building.
I don't want to rent out the building. I want to own my studio.
Sure.
And you can convert it into an Airbnb. I
Yes.
mean, or you can sell it to artists who are coming down from out of state and they want a private place to where they can make their music. See, I see a whole lot of opportunity in real estate. I'm just taking my time to plan out how I'm going to do it right, you know, because
Absolutely.
I don't like making bad decisions, so
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm making the right decisions that's going to lead me into the other places that I want to go to.
I'll give you. Yes, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say, Kyle, and you talk about why and the why, I think a lot of it is ignorance. And when I say ignorance, it's not anything disparaging. It means not knowing.
Not knowing.
So,
Right,
and
yes.
that's what we're doing now. We're educating people. It's like I told you earlier, people are afraid and they're ignorant. Here, I want to take away the fear. I want to hold your hand, and I want to educate you.
Correct.
That's what I'm going to talk to you about, how to build your credit. How you got Netflix, you can put it on your credit report, right? Improve your credit score with things like that.
Yes.
Hulu, you got Hulu?
Yes.
Let me show you how to put it in your credit report to improve your credit score.
Wow.
Let me show you a DPA, down payment assistance.
Sure.
So a lot of things people just don't know about. People don't know about DPA. They don't know they can put Hulu. They don't know they can put Netflix.
Correct.
Call me, 813-438-4511. Let me talk to you. I'll be your, whether you buy from me now, a year from now, 5 years from now. I just want to give you some news you can use, educate you.
That's fantastic, and that's exactly what people need. I think that's perfect, you know, because when you have resources, you know, one of the things that I'll be honest, I want to tell you something about this show that I brought to my wife. I said, what am I doing this show for? What exactly, I mean, why do we give away such valuable knowledge? Like, this is free. We're giving away free game. I mean, real information. Really, you can get a house. Really, you can borrow numbers like $250,000, $350,000, $500,000.
You can take that small business and buy you a house.
You can do business. Do you understand? All of this free information, and sometimes it feels like maybe I'm incorrect, but if it doesn't come with someone twerking, someone cursing, someone putting someone in a headlock because there was a fight, you're not getting paid attention to. I'm giving you the track, the way to wealth for free, and you would rather tune into, I don't know, whoever is doing something crazy on social media today.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so let's just talk, because that's the final segment that I had for you today.
Okay.
So how important is social media in each of your businesses?
Social media is my business. I sell all my music through the internet, social media, IG. This is how I promote my music. So I don't think a lot of people understand, if they're branding their business, you got to be consistent, and you can turn people off with certain images.
Yes.
With whatever you're selling. You know what I'm saying? So I think teaching business etiquette to people could change the atmosphere of how we do business as well.
Absolutely.
And it can make it more appealing if it's not so much riffraff. I mean, you know, if you see a clean design. When we look at Apple, we love looking at Apple commercials.
Sure.
Because it's clean, simple, and it's straight to the point. You know what I'm saying?
Apple actually doesn't sell anything in their commercials.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that?
They sure don't.
If you ever look at next time you notice an Apple commercial,
They sell the design.
they're going to show you at the very end an image of their phone or their computer. But most of what they show on the screen are just epic images. Like they'll show a scene of a beautiful sunset, a beautiful group of a kid running through flowers, right? Moments that people consider can relate to and feel like, oh, that's beautiful.
Inspire,
And then they'll show the phone and a dollar amount. How is that selling any? It's not like, hey, come buy or we'll be on sale, because they feel like our product sells itself, much like Rolls-Royce, and there are lots of businesses that follow that model, but you have to have supreme confidence to feel like I don't need to tell you much. You already know.
Right.
You already know. I'm
Let
giving
my
you
product sell you.
How about you?
Well, you know what?
Social media been?
I'll be honest with you. I steered away from social media on a personal level, and I guess it kind of hindered me somewhat in business. I just kind of frustrated. People portray to be things that they aren't, and it was a big turn of correct. It was too much. And me myself, man, I'm a people person.
Sure.
I want to sit down. I want to shake your hand. I want to go to lunch with you. See, people, as you would know, and you said it earlier, they buy from people who they like.
And trust.
You're going to buy a car anyway because you need a car. You're going to buy a house.
Yes.
You're going to go buy that bed, that furniture, but you're going to buy for someone who you know and you trust.
Correct.
I believe that I'm genuine.
Yes.
I'm a man of integrity.
Yes.
Right? I'm sincere.
Yes.
So when I talk to you and I tell you and I give you the steps to home ownership, when I tell you this is your closing cost, when I tell you this is your payment,
they're calling in to apply. Make sure you leave a message. She'll be calling you back to take your application today, but go ahead.
So when I tell you these things, my word, I'm a 90s guy, right? My word is my bond.
Word is bond.
Word is bond, son, right?
Yes.
So that's where I come from. So I'm more of a people person. I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to sit down at the kitchen table.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, look, you got 27% in credit card debt, right?
Yes.
You got a car that's $600. Let me consolidate this where interest rates are low.
Yes.
You make one payment, and I save you $300-400. I'm here to make your life better, but I'm gonna look at you in your eye when I convey this to you.
And so you want to.
That's my.
So your
that's
approach
who I am.
has been more hands-on, more direct
Correct.
contact.
That's
with
me.
with
That's
the
me.
people.
That's
and
who I am.
And that's an interesting thing because I think that still has value. I think it just depends on what your objective has been. Like for me, like you, I'm on social media. I'm on every platform every day, right? And I find that it has been helpful for my business.
Yeah.
As a realtor, it definitely lets people know that I'm active. That lets me know
a bigger platform.
A little bit of a platform.
You can
to
obviously
show.
reach more people.
You
definitely.
can reach more people, and for me, I want to reach all kinds of people because I'm here. Florida is a big place. People want to relocate here from pretty much everywhere. So
True indeed.
I
True
need
indeed.
people to see, well, I'm planning to go to Tampa Bay. I want to find out where the best restaurants are, where the best schools are, where I should have my house. I'm your guy, right? And so I put information out. But the one thing I do find that is a little bit challenging is to keep people engaged because there's so much media. There's so much. If you are not active every day, you're invisible.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And even for those of us who are active every day, sometimes it feels like the platforms make us a little bit more invisible, right? Like they ain't, the algorithm ain't always playing fair, you know? And so I would say that it's more important than ever that we support one another, which is one of the reasons and one of the ways you and I got very close is you're consistently have been supportive. And
It's
I would
called
tell
family business.
Family business, he said. But it's scriptural as well, right? So I have this scripture I like to say, which is when given it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give unto your bosom. My way of saying that is when your hand is open to give, it's also open to receive. Right?
True indeed.
And so a lot of times this brother was just giving. He was like supporting me so much, I wanted to support him back. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's help each other.
My dad taught me this principle. He said, son, if they ask you for a mile, you give them two. He was a Marine, too.
Yeah.
So, it's like you got to be available for success.
Yes.
And being available for success is not always being available for you to win. You got to help other people win. So if you help other people's business, it opens up business for you.
For you, every time. Every time.
But
Yes,
see,
sir.
and the piggyback off that, and I love that, and it goes back to what you said. Why are we giving this information for free? I'm gonna give you a prime example, and then I'll let you go. I had a guy, VA guy. He was in Fayetteville, North Carolina, another state that I'm licensed in. Okay. He called me, military guy. And he went to Bank of America, one of the big banks, and they have what is called overlays, which means they won't do anything under a 640.
Yes.
I'm a boutique lender. I can go all the way down to a 560.
Okay.
So he called me, and his score was under that. I'm like, well, right now, give me a couple weeks, month or two, call me back, and I could work with you. I gave him some ideas of things he could do to build his credit, to improve his credit, talk to him, was polite to him, whatever.
Wonderful.
Week or two later, I get a call, a friend of his. Hey, you did a deal with Mr. Jones. Call him Mr. Jones. I'm like, well, the deal didn't go through. No, but he had great things to say about you.
Because
that being said, I got this deal now from someone that I turned down. But because I didn't treat him less than,
Absolutely.
I gave him jewels, things that he could do to
Absolutely.
improve, told him to come back and I would help him.
Yes.
He gave me a referral without even ever purchasing a home with me.
Isn't that beautiful? How that
So
works?
sometimes you can give without expecting anything. You just
Exactly.
give, and it's going to come back to you in
Automatically.
abundance.
That's I agree
That-
completely.
That's a jewel right there.
That's a
That
jewel.
is what's powered my career in music.
Really?
Listen, I had a photographer friend, and he did a cold call to iHeartRadio. And when I go work for my friends,
Yes.
I'm one of their employees.
Okay.
I'm going to work as hard as I would work for my own self. And that's just it. Just every time that you do something for someone, it opens up the universe to do things for you.
Absolutely.
My jobs, the last couple jobs in management that I've had is because some of my old employees remembered me as a good manager, and they went on to do great things, got positions, and
called you
I'm
and
never
opened
going to
up
be
doors.
without a job. You know what I'm
Isn't
saying?
that beautiful?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
That's the value of a good name. Just another
Absolutely.
scripture.
Another scripture.
Yeah. It's
Exactly.
better than rubies and diamonds. It's better than having all the money in the world. It's having good connections and people that you've made an impact on.
Let me throw this out to you. So one of the things about hip hop maturing, because obviously hip hop has grown up, right?
No doubt.
Remember when KRS said we weren't even 20 years old, right? And now we are, though.
Yeah,
now
right.
more of us have exceeded. We've passed that threshold. Some of these guys got AARP cards. Let's just be
No doubt.
clear.
Hip hop is 50, man.
Right. Let's be clear, right? And so a lot of what we have seen in terms of the maturing of hip hop has also come with what we just did. Sharing wisdom, sharing, there was a time when that wasn't really that hip hop vibe, right?
Yeah.
But now we hear people talking about vibrations, energies, frequency. Bring that same energy, right? We on a vibe. And all of these are parts of the conversation that are new to the culture, but that are highly empowering, highly powerful, highly beautiful.
They're trending words.
Trending words that are making us better.
Yeah, exactly.
That are making us better. And so
Exactly.
I really like to see that. I do hope that for whatever social media you may have, are we there where we can share that portion of the segment? All right. So I'd like to be able to share all of our contact information, because for those of you who have tuned in, who have listened and rode with us throughout the entire show, we want to make sure that you are able to contact all three of us for the variety of things that we can help you with. All right. So we're going to run a commercial and then come back with that, or should we go ahead and run? Let's run that commercial and we'll be right back.
Kyle Jackson from Savin Premier Real Estate makes selling your home look easy. Even when things behind the scenes don't go quite according to plan. Kyle will go to great lengths to make sure potential buyers see the best of your home. It's all about the details, making sure he's got your back. Kyle Jackson from Savin Premier Real Estate, just another day at the office, working to sell your home. If you're looking to sell your home, contact Kyle Jackson today. He's got your back.
And we live right here at Flowhio Radio, Homeownership and Hip Hop with your host, Kyle Jackson, realtor with Savin Premier Real Estate here in the beautiful Tampa Bay area. We are here with our two guests, Black Boi, Lee. I don't even know if I have to do your whole names like I did before. Hopefully, by this point in the conversation, they should know who you are now, right? But as we close out, I want to thank you both for not only being here, for taking your time on a Saturday.
Thank you for having me
But
out.
I want to make sure
Thanks
that
for having me.
the
Yeah.
listening audience has the ability to ensure that if you have any merchandise, if they can follow you on your social media, if there's any way that they can contact you, we'd love for them to do that. Why don't we start with you, sir, and then you, and then I will go last.
Well, you can find me on almost every major social media platform. I'm Black Boy 813 on Twitter. I'm Black Boy 813 on IG. I'm Black Boy 813 on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook under William Willingham, and you can find my studio page, which is the Dark Star Music Group on Facebook. You can call me directly on my cell phone if you need studio time. If you need production, you can call me at 813-767-0360. That's 813-767-0360. And you can check out my music. I'm on every platform. I have a couple projects out right now. I have the 52-week project, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I also have a R&B album out called The Black Love Movement. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, every major music platform. And right now I am working on trying to get Asia's album fully complete so we can release that. That's Asia Lorraine.
Salute Asia Lorraine.
Black Rain.
Respect.
And I'm really getting ready to commit to another 52-week project, Volume 3. That'll probably start next year, and I like to incorporate so many artists from the city and people that I've done music with over the years. So it's always a major play for me, and it keeps me fresh. It keeps me creative. It keeps me driven musically. So if y'all looking for music, you're looking for studio time, y'all hit me up. I'm in Tampa, Florida, but with the internet, you can reach out from out of state, and I'm always available to do music.
Awesome.
That's excellent.
All right. Well, you can reach me anywhere from 8 a.m. to 6:37 p.m. at the office, 813-935-1828.
Tell them your name again.
Lamar and Williams, business-wise, they know Lee Williams. Email address, leew@racmtg.com. Licensed in 6 states, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Mississippi, and Illinois, pending in Maryland and Tennessee. My personal business cell phone, 813-438-4511. You want to buy, you want to refi, investment properties, give me a call, and I'll be more than happy to help you, answer your questions, hold your hand, whatever it is you need pertaining to a mortgage, give me a call and I'll be happy to assist.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle Jackson. I'm your host of Homeownership and Hip Hop. And as you know, I am a realtor here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. I am standing by, ready, willing, and able to help you, whether you are looking for a home to rent, if you are looking for a home to buy, if you are a first-time home buyer or buying a home because you're selling a home. If you're ready to sell your home, I am primarily a listing agent, and so I would be happy to list your home for sale. And last but certainly not least, if you are looking to invest in single-family properties, multifamily properties, any kind of investment of land, of vacant land, I'd be happy to help you. You can contact me directly at 813-444-2691. Again, that's 813-444-2691. The name of the brokerage is Seven Premier Real Estate. You can find that at Seven Premier, SIVENPREMIER.com. You can also, if you want to just remember real quick, you can find me at KyleSellsDreamHomes.com or KyleSellsTampaBay.com. Before we go, as you know, we lost a lot of greats over the course of this year. This year in particular has been, and I don't want to go through, I can go through a long list of majors. Some like the late great Shock G right here from Tampa Bay. Definitely.
Salute to Shock G and his
obviously
sister too.
DMX, right? Black Rob. But one that hit particularly close to home for me was the late great Biz Markie, and so I'm going to dedicate this episode to the late great Biz Markie. And before we go, I'm gonna just play this quick clip of my brother Biz real quick. All right.
Nobody beats the Biz.
Nobody beats the Biz. You know me at the VRCMARKIEN. I go for what I know, doing a show for human beings. I'm guaranteed to rock to make the ladies feel and shout. I'm about to wreck your body as they turn the party out.
I hope, God bless and good night. Thank you all for tuning in. Serge, take us out of here, bro.
All right, we out here. We're going to close it out with a joint that he brought in. Black Boy, 813.
Let's go.
Let's go run that.
Go,
Matter of fact, go ahead and introduce it.
This is a song off the 52-Week Project Volume 2. It was actually dedicated to George Floyd. When that whole thing happened, I was in the midst of creating the project, and it just hit me. So me and Aja came up with a song called Moonlight, where it's called like the death dance. You know, it's really one of those real introspective tracks. Got a little conscious message into it, so I'm hoping you like it. It's called Moonlight, featuring Black Boi and Aja Lorraine.
Before you run it, where can people buy it?
You can buy it on iTunes. You can buy it on Apple Music. You can stream it on Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, every platform of music that is available. YouTube, it is all available right now.
If you heard it on Homeownership and Hip Hop, you know you need to go get it ASAP.
Hey.
I love it.
Say life is what you make it be. How can I find love if they hating me? Show no regard for my black life. Call my anger on when you ain't acting right. We dance in the darkness of a white lie, like dancing with the devil on the moonlight. You remain blind in the midst of truth. I got my hands up screaming don't shoot. Knees on my neck so I can't breathe. You rather push record instead of helping me. And even in death you wanna vilify. Dance around the truth but won't correct the lie. How can I articulate that black lives matter over white hate? And how can I sing in a strange land? One call to police could be my last dance. Cries for a lifeless child can never be